I see it out there. I see commentary that if you just build great games, everything would turn around. It's just not true that if we go off and build great games, all of a sudden you're going to see console share shift in some dramatic way. We lost the worst generation to lose in the Xbox One generation, where everybody built their digital library of here's another device that people are going to get to go experience great games on, whether it's your Steam Deck or that or your Xbox. I see the growth in video games. I get to spend time with creators who are excited about the opportunity that they have. I get to go play some amazing games, some of those Game Pass, some of those not. And I just think the gaming space has never been more diversely creative than it is right now. And it's
So I think they themselves, the interviewers, they're the Xbox podcast there. They reflected upon this, and Rome Rush has reflected upon this. Other people have. It's time for me to give my perspective. Now, what you are seeing right there, nuts and bolts, or is this Tears of the Kingdom? No, it's nuts and bolts. Viva Pinata, Perfect Dark Zero, and Cameo Elements of Power. Cameo was like actually the first of the Rareware games, right? Like kind of like Dinosaur Planet, Star Fox Adventures. Um, these four games are the reason why I bought a damn Xbox 360. Now, if you've been my subscriber for a while, you already know that I laid that 360 to rest like old Yeller. It's done. It's dead. It ain't coming back. And there's nothing more we can do about it. Um, it those two parts of the interview are what I picked up from Phil. Okay, you got the great games, but you need the great games. Okay, now the whole thing was dealing with Redfall. Redfall was just like Fallout 76, just it fell out. It wasn't working. I think it was supposed to be 120 frames per second. I have not seen a demonstration of 120 frames. It must be the bee's knees, but I would have to see it in person to know like what the fuck the hype is. But I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's worth it. 60 frames times two. I mean, to see, to have that feeling of, of a sort of a Blair Witch. Everything is happening so fast and shooting and camera. I don't know. It's just so I don't know much about that technology. But what I do know is that the Redfall wasn't up to speed. It wasn't up to spec. It wasn't proper. It wasn't A plus. It was not what people wanted it to be. Uh, Sea of Thieves, you had the same issues with Sea of Thieves not being a whole game. It was working, but it was just not the game that everybody was hoping it was going to be. Angry Joe reviewed the fuck out of that game. He was pissed off because he tried the demo out a year before the release, and now I think Sea of Thieves has more meat in it, but it took fucking years for that thing. And I'm sure with Redfall you'll have years. Okay? It'll take a few years for Redfall to be an actual game. But people don't like that. People don't want to pay AAA prices of 60 to 70 bucks and get a half-assed game and to wait 5 years for it to be any good. They moved on to the next goddamn game, okay? They moved on to Elden Ring Squared or the next Zelda game or the next Pokemon game or the next first-person shooter, whatever it is. They're done waiting. They don't want to wait for the game to get better. And the same deal with Starfield, right? So Starfield's the big cock exclusive for Xbox. Do y'all remember Beyond Good and Evil 2, where you were going to have a planet-sized open world, planet-sized, and that game was never going to happen? There's a lot of other games we've been waiting for that have never happened. We have been waiting for games for a lot longer than probably Starfield or Redfall. And the only reason I got into Xbox was because of Rareware. What you are looking at are the four reasons, okay? These four. And I don't think I bought two. But I know I have one. And there was another Viva Pinata party game. And then there was a sort of a remix of what's that first game? Jetpack Refueled. Jetpack Refueled. I played as much as I could of this one, but when my 360 died, that was the end. That was the end for me to really, really give a shit. Um, and these games got put onto the Rare Replay. It's very sad. It's very sad that we're not going to see. I mean, look, here's the thing too. Like Phil mentioned the Steam Deck. Phil mentions other. The Steam Deck is a competitor because Microsoft does not own the Steam or Valve license, so it is a competitor. Okay, because people want to take their games on the go, and there's six. I mean, like, look, here's the thing. I don't care about this as far as gaming. I use this to make my videos. I watch videos. I do some writing projects on my tablet. This is fine, okay, for this. But as far as getting like games, you're only going to get fucking mobile games, free to play games, and then you have to pay to play, right? And then, so there's 7 avenues you can go with all of this, okay? You could go with retro games or retro consoles like the PS Vita or Xbox 360. Get the Elite Xbox 360 if you must. The N64. Some of these ones here, like I have off to the side. N64, Super Nintendo, the Wii, right? So that's one source of gaming. That's opposition to what you have now. So you've got the retro games. You have PlayStation 4. So you have retro consoles. Okay, that includes everything before the PS4. So you have PS4 as the second option, PS5 as the third option, right? And then you have the Steam Deck. I think, is it? I have to reach for these things. Pardon me. Just not where I don't edit stuff. This is option number 4. Okay, so you have this one, PS4, PS5, right? Retro games, you have the Evercade. And you got, what are the other ones? You got Evercade. You've got the Nintendo Switch, right? That's charging back there. My Nintendo Switch. So you got the Nintendo Switch over there. That's fueling. Fuel for the soul. And what else you got? What is your last option? Oh, right, the PC. So imagine that's the PC right there sitting on the... So you got PC, you got the Switch, you got Evercade, you got the PlayStations 4 and 5s, you got the Steam Deck, you got retro consoles. Why would you want to go to Xbox? Why would you want to go to Xbox? Okay? And Rome Rush made a very excellent point. Now, there were exclusives back on the Xbox original and 360, right? But your 360 is a fucking... Chances are if you bought the original one, right? That thing's a fucking paperweight by now. It doesn't fucking work. I've shown you that it doesn't fucking work. It doesn't work. It doesn't want to work. And it's sad. I really wanted to play some 360 games. I have a whole bunch of 360 games. And you can get Sea of Thieves on the Steam Deck. You can get Sea of Thieves, and I think you can get the new Killer Instinct on here. So on this, you can get 2 Rareware games, okay? You can get, on the Steam Deck, you can get Sony's exclusive Spider-Man, God of War. So you have like a mini PlayStation. You have like a PlayStation Vita 2, okay? Though the Vita 2 really for PlayStation is the connecting your phone. But other than the CMOS battery, I think they're making better ones. I'm not sure if they made better PS5s. But you're better off with the PlayStation 5. You're better off with the PlayStation 4. You're better off with the Steam Deck. The Xboxes don't have anything exclusive. Now, he's talking about great games. You need to make the great games, and you need to make the exclusive games to make people buy an Xbox Series X or Series S. That's the bottom line that Roma said, and that's what I'm saying too. You know, you have other choices, and these are your choices. But I will not be able to play these games with the disc into the system because the system don't want to work. I would have to go get an Xbox One, and there's no guarantee that the Xbox One will work with that. I'd be better off getting the Rare Replay. Rare Replay will replay everything. But if Rare Replay can get on the Steam Deck, that's pretty much it for me ever thinking about getting an Xbox ever again. Because Rare used to work with Nintendo, and Nintendo dropped them as like the second party, right? The second party. I would consider Pokemon to be second party because they're not working directly under Nintendo, but they have a Nintendo exclusive license. So Game Freak or like HAL Laboratories, but they're owned by Nintendo HAL's. So Pokemon with Niantic, that's second party, right? Nintendo's got other issues with the new system, but that's a whole other topic. Getting those third parties to not be cloud games. You're better off with other things. Okay, you're better off with the retros. You're better off with the Game Boy Advance with the e-reader playing games. This is exclusive. You can't put the e-reader on your Steam Deck. Xbox needed to have working systems that were not reminiscent of the 360. I still have an article somewhere where they trashed the Xbox One for customers, and Angry Joe definitely covered it in his you fucking idiots part 1, part 2, and then part 3 was an epic win. But I think I have the magazine in the Game Informer, and I will review that later if you like. But this is really bad. So Phil Spencer, he's an honest guy. He could have lied. He could have been like, Bobby Kotick or some other piece of shit, the guy in charge of Blizzard. He could have been a piece of shit. I think they try to acquire all these exclusive Activision Blizzard and, trying to get exclusives. They don't have anything. I mean, with Rareware, the two guys who were in charge of Rare, look, I bought this $30 new. Way back then, I bought this $30 new. The guy in charge of Blizzard, was that $17.99 used? Yeah. I bought these like $50, I think $60. So the two people in charge of Rare, Tim Stamper, I think, and somebody else, those two guys have left. Okay? The two guys, I think the two brothers, have left. Two of the three people who were in charge of Rare left in the early or late 2000s. Yeah, when this game came out, they left the company. That's a big, horrible thing. That's like Halo. And where's the next Halo game at? That's what people are looking forward to. They want to see the next Halo game now. Halo Infinite could only last so long, right? You got Halo Infinite. But other than that, the Xbox Series X doesn't have a lot of exclusive. I mean, isn't Infinite on Xbox One? But when they did the TV show for Halo for Netflix, the writer in charge left. The showrunner left the show. So that should tell you something. I'm just going to stick to what I know. I'm going to stick to this. I'm going to stick to my Switch. I'm going to stick to my Steam Deck. This thing gives me shit for the firmware. But that's what I go to for my games. I go to my board gaming. I go to all this stuff. All the board gaming. This is my last great system right here. This. And you can get some fan games for free, like The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, which I still haven't finished. You can get a lot of great games on here. And you can get a lot of great games on Evercade, though they're more pixely, retro looking. You have a lot of options, okay? You have a lot of great choices. You don't need Series X. The minute that Microsoft puts all their, to me, when they put their Rareware stuff, this stuff here, if this stuff gets on the Steam store, that's it. Rare Replay on the Steam, that's going to be it. Because they don't have anything to really lose by putting it on there. But it's not like Rare's a big investment for them anymore. I'd rather somebody else own them. Capcom, Konami, and they're all corporations, but I mean, I wouldn't want to see Rare go to pieces. That's the only reason I bought a 360 was because of this. Also, I bought it because of Gears of War. Gears of War motivated me to buy it. When I saw the graphics for Gears of War, almost 20 years ago, okay, when I saw the Gears of War 1 graphics, I was like, there's no way that the 360 would make this. But they made it, and it was fantastic. Fantastic stuff. And if you like this video, if you like this video, if it's good enough for you, you see those buttons below, you know what to do. Stay tuned. I have one more little podcast to cover, and it's time for fucking dinner, I think, or late lunch.